So, good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the Fireside Chat Show of the MBA Department of Swami Vivekananda Group of Institutes. Today, our guest of honor is Mr. Devargo Dev, who is the Regional HR Head East of Dabur India Limited. So, welcome Devargo to our this Fireside Chat Show.
Good afternoon, Amitabh. It's a unique opportunity, and I'm very thankful to you that SBIT has come up with such a nice initiative. And it's always good to connect with you. And in this medium, in this online platform, it's always unique. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, for a long period of time, we are trying to do that. So, ultimately, got this opportunity. Let's hope that it will be successful. Actually, I have jotted down few questions. So number one question is that how FMCG industry is getting impacted by this COVID-19 pandemic and related lockdown.
Okay, so if we are talking about FMCG industry, so initially when this lockdown started off, so we were really not very prepared of how things will turn out, because our normal organizationally every FMCG company depends on fleet of people going out into the market daily, talking to the retailers daily, talking to the wholesalers daily, and trying to understand what are their needs and taking orders and ensuring supply. Suddenly on a particular day, and that too in a year end kind of a month of a March, quarter 4 end, year end, and towards end FMCG business slides a little bit on towards the end of the month. Suddenly it came out that we have to all work from home, people can go out on the field and all that. We were actually clueless. And initially in the month of March, the business had taken a hit for our organization and mostly for all FMCG companies. Okay. Though it was understood that this would be a time when people will buy essential product, FMCG companies are mostly supplying essential products. There would not be too much of business loss, but the cluelessness was about how to ensure supplies. It took us around 15-20 days as an organization and as an industry, as a sector, to understand what actually is what is to be done. And suddenly we realized after 5, 6, 10 days, people started finding ways out. They started taking to the telecalling mode to ensure the orders are being taken. So they started calling up the retailers, just wishing them they are healthy and they are safe, whether they are opening their shop, how is their family, just some sort of a well-being kind of a chat, and just ensuring whether the orders are there or not. If there it is, and then they were taking. So this came out very spontaneously from our people, and we didn't have to train them, we didn't have to tell them to do it. It came out very spontaneously, and they took up this. So slowly and steadily, as an organization, we took up new ways and means of doing things, and then slowly we were able to. So March was a bit down, April was, we were able to do around 80-85% of our numbers, and in May, to be very frank, we are already close to the numbers of that is being targeted, given to us, and the last year's numbers are already, we are on a way that we are able to match the last year's number, or rather grow at some places. In April also, few of our states have grown. So we have find out the ways in between that. People have find out ways, people have find out means of ensuring. The main challenge was the supply chain, because the salesman, the suppliers, the delivery man, these are all mostly people coming out from the outside the city, mostly train commuters, all that. So those were the people who were missed a lot. And but the sales force took it up. They ensured they were taking orders. They were also ensuring supplies. People worked double shifts. People worked early in the morning. They woke up and finished their work by 9:30, 10 o'clock. They started working from 4 o'clock in the morning at some district towns. So rather a lot of means and measures were taken up, all keeping in mind the social distancing and the safety and health precautions that were supposed to be taken. So that's how we figured our ways out in that. Right.
So if there is a crisis, so definitely there are ways to overcome that. So as a team, that Dabur have ensured that to smooth delivery and the supply, to maintain the supply chain management of the essential products. That's a great initiative. It's a good lesson for everybody actually.
Yeah, and you cannot plan for this kind of crisis, right? The only thing which you need is that a person has to be resilient, a person has to be innovative, and they should not sulk in the crisis. They should come out with innovative solutions. And that's what our field force did, and our leadership team supported in that. Our HR training team supported in that, and we were able to sail through it.
Right. So I have, I was just reading in some news that probably Dabur have started their manufacturing process after the lockdown.
Right.
I mean, any special measures you are taking? Like the social distancing, etc. How you are maintaining that?
Yes, of course. Because see, the manufacturing process is something which runs the wheel of an organization, right? For companies
Right.
like us, we can have salespeople, we can have the delivery, supply chain, everything, but unless the products are there, it is impossible for us to carry on. So opening of the manufacturing processes was very important. To be very frank, I will tell you, government supported us a lot. The state governments, the regional governments, and everybody supported a lot in terms of helping us to open up. Be it the Nandrapur factory, be it the Tejpur factory, be it all other factories across India. We had a lot of support from government in doing that. So the safety measures were obviously taken. We are running all our plants with minimal stuffing. We are running because not the full capacity plants are not running. It is running at a optimal. It's running at a 50%, 60% capacity with the number of manpower which can be reduced significantly so that the social distancing can be maintained. We are maintaining staff buses. We are maintaining the entry exit checkings by IR thermometers. The pantries are kind of kept off currently, so people are bringing their food from home, eating at their desks, and we have doctors at a standby. We have isolation units in the factories. So all these measures are taken up, and till now, touch wood and God forbid, we didn't have any unforeseen incidents in the factories as of now. So hopefully things will start shaping up better.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That sounds really great. And it is a good to know that all the government agencies are also helping the companies to ensure the smooth production. So that's a very good sign, actually. And coming to next part is some of the companies. Again, I have heard from the newspaper only and the different news portal that they are telling that some of the FMCG companies are going for collaboration with the e-commerce giant for delivering the product directly to the consumer. So is that a reality? Is it a reality for your company, or what's your opinion about the same direct delivery of the product to the consumer?
No, Amitabh, this is actually a reality, and this is what is going to happen going forward. You know that this supply chain in between, because when we are going to shopkeepers, they are saying, okay, it is very difficult for people to get orders. Consumers are willing to get online orders. They are ready to get the products online. This habit of going to a supermarket, touching and feeling the products and understanding are not going to long for a long time. It's not going to happen for a long time. So yes, there is a requirement of going directly to the consumers, and we have also changed our strategies in that. We already had tie-up with major e-com sites. We are also tying up with the smaller e-com sites. And believe you me, the production, so there is always a product allocation competition going on various channels. So there is a retail channel, there is a wholesaler channel, there is a e-com channel, there is a modern trade channel. And when you get an X amount of product in the market, when you get X amount of product from the factory, previously it always used to be that the first priority used to be the general trade channel, the local Kinara shops that used to get products. But over last 1 month, we have obviously changed the strategy, and we said the first priority would be the modern trade outlets as well as the e-com. First priority is e-com and then modern trade. So e-commerce is given the first priority now. If we have 100 pieces of Chyawanprash, the first priority is given to the e-commerce site and ask the orders have been taken and supplied to them, and then rest is going to the retail chains and other stuff. So the priority is with the e-commerce site currently. And I'm sure this is not a temporary phase. This is what is going to be going forward. People will look into this medium, and not only, you don't see only an Amazon pantry or a Grofar or a Big Basket. There are small players like Swiggy, Zomato, who are into food delivery. They are also coming into this, and there would be a lot more vendors coming into this to do this. I think this would be a model which is going to stay.
Right. So the coming to from this question only, there is a controversy nowadays. I mean the OTT platform like the Netflix and the Amazon versus multiplex releases. As the more many producers are releasing their movies in the OTT platforms, and that is creating problem for the multiplex owners because they are telling that how they are going to run the business. So from that point of view, it's a similar kind of situation. If the companies are delivering through e-commerce, then what will happen to the existing channel of the retailer distributor? I mean, is that going to be affected somehow?
So, see, finally, everything is driven by consumerism, right? So if the consumers demand a particular, if we see a trend of the demand in a particular channel, and if we see that the most preference is given to that channel, every company is bound to every company, every institution, every organization, be it FMCG, be it entertainment, be it medical, anything. If they see that the consumers are moving towards a different channel, they will also bound to they are bound to kind of move towards that channel or adapt that channel. Now, coming back to the question of what happens to the other channels, this would be a long change. This would not be a sudden fast change. This would be a long change. So obviously, you see that before this COVID crisis came up, we were all preferring to go to modern trade. The shopping was more based on big bazaars and Spencer's and all that. But suddenly, in this last 2-3 months, we have seen a lot of traffic being moved to local Kinara shop, the Parar Dukan concept, right?
Right.
So this Parar Dukan concept has revived during this period of time because they were the one where you get to see less queue. They were the one who were taking smaller amount also was getting delivered within time. You get small quantity amounts. You do not have to make an X amount of bill to get that get products from there. So these Kirana shops are becoming very popular nowadays. So one side there are e-commerce who can adapt, and another side would be there are retail channels, the smaller Kirana shops where people will want to go to visit and get it. So you know that seeing this trend, government has also asked to build around 20 lakh Suraksha outlets. So what they're calling is outlets are something which is an outlet. They will kind of build outlets, or they are asking FMCG companies to help these outlets build, where there would be less contacts, where would be social distancing norms are to be maintained. There would be channels, there would be automatic ways of getting the products from the vendors, less of contacts and more of health and hygiene to be maintained. Right. So this 20 lakh Suraksha outlets are being mandated by government to be made, and all FMCG companies like HUL, PNG, Dabur, Reckitt, Godrej, these are all, they have come together to build these outlets, right? So going forward in next 6 months time, you will see Suraksha outlets coming up, and where you will all the health and safety measures of shopping would be maintained. So government is focusing on this retail part, and obviously the FMCG companies are supporting because they are the blood and lifeline of an FMCG business. So obviously those will also remain. The e-commerce will also remain. Again, modern trade formats also will be growing, but it will be in a different way. Maybe if you will not see too much of crowd in the shops, but modern trade formats also, now you will see Spencer also going online, and they have an app where you can order without coming to the store. Big Bazaar have an app you can order without coming to the store. So these kind of things would be adapted. So people will adapt and will change with those kind of stuff.
Great. Okay. So that's that's a new information to me about this Suraksha shop, and that is a really very good initiative. Right. So from that, actually, there is another issue that is going on. There is a hot topic of discussion in every media, that is about the migratory laborers. So are you finding any issues due to the scarcity of the laborers, because the laborers are moving out to their native places? So some of the manufacturing units are said to be having problem because they are not getting the skilled laborers because they are migrating. So is that a case for you?
Yes. This is a major problem currently. And not only factories, our CFAs, the warehouses where the products are being stored, packed, unpacked, and again reloaded, transported from the godowns to smaller retail shops and wholesalers. So that there is where we are facing an immense problem in terms of the getting laborers. Now, so laborers are, it's an unorganized sector, right? You cannot go to a
Right.
portal and book laborers. There are
Right.
contractors. Now, these
Right.
contractors are not all contractors. So there are big contractors who can actually manage their laborers. They have, I know of contractors who deal in tea, and they are based in Calcutta. They manage around 3,000, 3,500 laborers in within the city of Calcutta, and they have maintained their labor force very nicely. They have kept them places to stay. They have kept them food to eat, and they have ensured that, okay, don't worry, everything will be normal, and you will get back to your jobs. So, but not every contractor is this big, right? They cannot support this kind of thing. So this is a crisis now. This is a crisis now. Every organization is trying to arrange through some mode or the other. Temporary modes are being looked out, overtimes are being worked, payments are being done accordingly. We are giving insurance to this kind of people so that they are at least staying at their jobs. All kind of supports are provided, but again, obviously this is a crisis. We have not yet figured out the solutions of it. To be very frank, we don't know how to manage it. Automation is a solution, but automation is not it cannot happen quickly, right? Automation needs time.
Right.
So a lot of our godowns and godowns and warehouses are automated in terms of loading and unloading. A lot of ours are not. So there we are facing problem. It's a ongoing issue. We are trying. It's a challenge right now. We are trying to solve it slowly.
Right. Um, I mean, thank you so much for that explanation, because that is a major question that is going on everywhere. So it is a
Right.
fact that all the companies are facing this kind of issues. So we are coming back to the another part that I have heard with our some previous discussion, that Dabur is having some immune booster product. Now
Yes.
the COVID-19, most of the doctors are prescribing the thing that you need to boost up your immune system. So
Right.
what are the products that Dabur is having so that the people can go for that product to boost up their immune?
See, now this has become very important for immunity. Immunity has become a very known term in the community, right? And people are
Right.
talking, doctors are talking. But Dabur is a 135 years old company, and Chyawanprash as a product is close to around 130 years in the system. We are the first company who has branded Chyawanprash and made it easily available to people. Everybody cannot actually go ahead and make Chyawanprash at home, right? People
Right.
have to, we have to brand it, and this is the first company who branded it. We have around 60, 65, 70% of market share of Chyawanprash in India. And if you pick up any Chyawanprash bottle, you will see that it has been talking about immunity, 2x immunity, which we call, and we have been talking about it since last 10 years. It's not COVID or not right now. So Chyawanprash is a product which builds your immunity. We have seen from traditionally that during winter season or when the season change happen, our grandmothers or parents used to scoop a spoon of Chyawanprash and feed the granddaughters or us, right?
Right.
So this has been a trend that it has always been linked with immunity. That during season changes you are more prone to get cold, catch cold or get an influenza and all that. And if you have a Chyawanprash during entire winter season, it will help you. But to be very frank, we have been telling, and it has been always promoted, that immunity is not a seasonal thing. You don't need immunity only for 3-4 months of the year. You need immunity
Right.
throughout. Your body needs immunity throughout. So obviously, now we are focusing more on other products also. So Chyawanprash is one of the major immunity boosting products in our category. We have a product called Immudap. Immudap is basically immunity-based syrup for children.
Okay.
Children within
Mhm.
15 years of age can have Immudap. We have a product called Giloy. Giloy is basically a product which is being announced by Ayush also, Ayush department also during COVID, that is something which is the most immunity providing tablets that can be utilized, and Dabur has one of the biggest range of Giloy. So
Okay.
Giloy is another one. Giloy is basically we used to call it the stick of the lotus plant, the guloncho that we used to say. That guloncho, the extract of that herb is called Giloy, and that is one of the best
Okay.
immunity boosting range. Then there is another product called Stresscom. Stresscom is
Mhm.
ashwagandha. If you go and figure
Okay.
and do a research on ashwagandha, you will realize ashwagandha is one of the biggest property of human body is immunity boosting. Right. So these products are all there. So what we have,
Okay.
it was always there. It is not a new launch with COVID and all that. It was always there. what we have done right now is that we have bought all this together and created an immunity boosting pack. So there are 4 or 5 of these brands are together, and then we are offering it in the market. We are offering it in the stores also as an immunity boosting pack, so that people would be interested and they were aware of these products and they can start utilizing these products. So that is how we are
Okay.
looking at. Apart from this, we are doing a lot of health camps. We are doing a lot of
Okay.
health camps within the residential complexes. With our doctors, where we are going and promoting this product, helping the people to check their immunity levels, and then obviously sampling this kind of products to various complexes. We have done it in South City. We have done it in other complexes also. This is the Consumer Connect program, you can call it, but the focus is on immunity. So this is how we are looking at this, and we are kind of rebranded. And you know what Dabur is? So what yesterday our Prime Minister said about Atmanirbharta and about the going local. Dabur has
Right.
always been local. Dabur is a local company which has gone global. So when we talk global, and when we have our roots in India, so we are a local company which has gone global. So the products of Dabur are always India based, are all Swadeshi products. We will always want to promote those, and we will also always want, and it's based on science of Ayurveda. So people would
Right.
always be happy to use it, and we have seen a progressive trend of people moving from general other products, cosmetic products, to Ayurvedic products. It has not been right now, but over last 3 or 4 years, this change is happening, and this will grow continuously.
Right. So that's really nice to hear that you are conducting this kind of consumer connect program or the health checkup camp, and
Right.
you are already in line of the PM's guideline of becoming Atmanirbhar or the Swadeshi kind of thing. So you are
Correct.
already in that line. So that's really nice to hear about that.
Yes, always.
Now, as we are representing one educational institute, so I need to ask some question for the benefit of the students.
Sure, sure.
So that's the thing. So I am just going to ask you questions related to that. That during hiring a fresher candidate, especially in the sales and marketing department, what kind of skill sets mainly you are looking for? That if you see a candidate with this kind of skill sets or the attitude, you can find that yes, this is the best fit for my company.
Okay. So now when we go, I'm not linking this with COVID situation or current situation or what this crisis is all about, but normally our strategy when we come and hire a fresher, we look at around 3 things. The major one, most important thing that we look at is the adaptability, because we know that we are picking up people from an urban market. We are picking up people who are just do not have any job experience, but we are asking them to go out in the market and start working, and the placements could be anywhere in India, and mostly it is rural posting. So the
Right.
adaptability skill has to be very high. So if they have shown adaptability exposures in their life, then they are a good hire for us. So people who are adaptable. Next is that learnability, because FMCG is an industry where you don't get too much of time to train, right? You are expected, you get 15-20 days of hand holding, you get some 7 days of induction, then another 7 days of joint market work with your boss, and then you're on your own. It's like throwing somebody at the pool and asking them, and they will learn to swim by themselves. So that's the method of that is the method that normally FMCG applies. There is not too much of scope of classroom learning, so people learn on the job. So on the job learning needs a lot of quick learning abilities. So the person with a fast learning abilities is something which we also look forward to. So adaptability, fast learning ability. And third and most important point is that somebody who is having an entrepreneurial mindset. Somebody should look at the job as that it is their own job or it is their own business that they are running. If they look at it that this is just a responsibility, I will do it from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock and then I'm on my own, then FMCG market is very difficult for them. Any
Right.
FMCG, our especially entrepreneurial mindset is looked at very highly. We always look at people who think that this headquarter is my headquarter and this area is my area and this business is my own business. So that is the kind of people who shines here. So adaptability, quick learning abilities, and entrepreneurship mindset. These are the three
Right.
things which we normally look at.
So this entrepreneurial creativity or the entrepreneurial mindset is one of the important factor in many industries actually, because you have to take ownership of your job. Otherwise, you cannot ensure your accountability towards the company. It's
Right.
not just a responsibility. You have to take the accountability of that your particular role as well. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
that's
That's
what we
very
actually want
important.
to teach our student, that you should be taking the ownership of whatever the job would be given to you.
Right.
I mean, on the similar line, just wanted to ask. I mean, though the answer could be the similar kind of thing, what are the few traits an individual should have so that they can ensure their career growth within the organization? I'm not talking about getting a job. They have already got a job. Then
Right.
how to retain that job and ensure their career growth? Probably the answer would be
See, the
similar
one,
kind, but
one,
I just want, yeah,
no, not similar. If I try to find a difference, then there is a difference. And the major trait that we look forward to. So obviously, you are rightly saying that we hire, say, 20 freshers in a financial year, and out of that 20, not everybody becomes successful. Not everybody gets promoted. The
right.
differentiating factors are the factors of traits like taking initiative. So somebody who has taken initiative, somebody who has shown innovativeness in the activities that they are doing, somebody who has shown hardcore rigorous discipline in the course of their actions. So innovativeness, discipline, taking initiatives, good communicator, somebody who is a good communicator, somebody who can express his thoughts in a meeting. Whenever there's a meeting of 20 people happening, if this is the person who can stand out properly and communicate his ideas, then these are the
Hmm.
people who actually are picked and chosen for the promotion path or the growth path. So
Right.
if I have to list down, I can tell you that take somebody who can take initiative, somebody who is innovative, and somebody who is a good communicator. These are the three major traits which we can look at, which we generally look at when I have to pick and choose of people to grow in their career.
Right. Fine. Thank you so much for that explanation. It will definitely going to be beneficial for the students. So,
Sure, sure.
now the students are having a few students. I mean, those students probably got, internship offers from different companies, including
Right,
some of your companies as well. So they are
right.
having a concern that what is going to happen. And I mean, are you planning to onboard this candidate on a working from home model or something else you have in your mind?
No, we have already those colleges where the internship has started, and we have already onboarded them on a work from home model. We have
Okay.
given them research work to be done
Hmm.
because I suppose IICT has also asked people to has given an advisory to ask students to do internships from home if possible. So we acknowledge that and we understand the safety concerns. We have asked them to do research work from home. We have assigned mentors to them so that their research are in a proper track, and we have not given subjective research. We have given them problems, real life problems which they can actually figure out. So we have given them SWOT analysis to be done for products. We have given them 4P analysis for products to be done. We have given them product life cycle to be checked for particular brands of ours. We have asked them to do competitor survey for our products and all that. So these are real life issues that they are dealing with, and we have already those colleges where the internship has started. We have offered them online projects to start with.
Okay, great, great. So that's a nice initiative. And the last questions of the session is
Yes.
that how would you suggest the students, specifically the management student, to develop themselves during the lockdown period? And that means how to utilize this lockdown period productively. That will help there in their career.
See, I'll tell you the one major question coming up in the interviews going forward for freshers would be that how did they utilize their time during this lockdown period? And
Right.
if the answers are that they have attended classes and if they have attended webinars, then that would not be a great answer to be, because that's what everybody is doing. What I feel is a probable thing to do is, this is a good opportunity where you can add life skills to your skill set. See, learning
Mhm.
Excel, learning computer, learning how to write a mail, learning and something in analytics, something in digital marketing, this all can be done and people are doing it. But we always say that if you continue to do a particular thing for 21 days or 3 weeks, it becomes your habit, right? So
Right.
learning life skills becomes something very important. So if somebody is not able to cook, the person can learn how to cook. Somebody is not able to is not very good with finances, can learn these things from the family. Cooking can be learned from mother or father. Expense management can be learned from father. having a little bit of exercise and little bit of body, little bit of taking care of your own self is important, because these are the things which you can actually go and tell in the interview that, sir, I have learned cooking during this period of time, and now I am ready that if you send me anywhere, any location, I can cook there and survive myself. Because we have seen most of the cases when we make people posted outside, after around 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, the parents call or the candidate calls and says that, sir, food is not good, I'm having stomach upset, we are having to eat outside, I want to come back. Now, if you can connect your life skill with actually opportunity in the interview and say that, sir, I've learned how to cook, and I can then, you can post me anywhere in the India, in any of the rural India, and I can manage myself. That will create a good connect with the employer. If the person says
Right.
that, sir, I've learned how to manage my finances, so whatever salary you're paying, I would be able to sustain in that. I'll be able to pay off my loans in that. Also create some savings for me. I will not look out for a job quickly for a 2,000-3,000 rupees of increase. I know how to save money. I've learned my own financial tips. So this life skills learning is more important than small courses. Free courses are all there. We can all doing it, and we should be doing it. But adding a few, one or two life course, I would always recommend is important. Life skill is very important for them, because that will stay with them for the life,
Right.
not just lockdown, but forever.
Right. So that's the very good explanation. Actually, they should invest their time in learning new life skills and engaging into some life projects, internships, assignments, so that
Right,
they can tell at the time of interview how productively they have utilized the time to learn all these things. Actually, solving some problems and etc.
right,
So
right.
thank you, Devargo, for your time and wonderful explanation for all the various questions. Probably I have asked 10 questions from different parts actually. So, and you have answered really, I mean, explanation was really good. And I think that this video is definitely going to be helpful for many people from the industry to
Sure.
the academic students, everybody. So thank you so much for participating in our, fireside chat show of our MBA department of Swami Vivekananda